back, and I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I had a lot of schoolwork and everything kind of got on top of me, so... But anyways, I'm back now, and let's get on to the video. Behind the scenes, a Ray Executioner fanfiction written by me, Gingerly. Chapter 15, Ray's POV. I woke up to see Mom walking in with a plate of food for me and YN as they were still asleep. Mom looked at us with a gentle smile before saying, "You two look cute together." Hearing this, I only looked at her and let out a tisk before getting up gently to not wake up YN when she put down the food and checked on their temperature, soon walking out. As I sat there checking my watch to see it was 6:30 p.m. Wow, I slept for a while, didn't I? I thought before turning to see YN's eyes slowly fluttering open, before they let out a cute yawn and stretched out their limbs slightly, before turning to their side and drifting off to a deep slumber. I chuckled at this, before getting up and walking out of the room to take a bath and get changed for the night. As I walked out, Phil ran over to me with Sherry right by his side as he asked, "Can we please see YN, please?" They begged me for a few minutes before I agreed, reluctantly, as they ran into the room with worried looks. I didn't mind it, brushing it aside as worry before leaving to get ready for the restless night ahead. When I returned to the room, I heard whisperings, so I pushed the door open slightly before seeing YN telling them something, but I couldn't seem to hear them before they let a cry and leaving them in the room alone. Phil said out loud, walking towards the door, "You promised we won't lose anyone else, right?" As YN nodded, the kids nodded back, eyes glossy. I didn't think much of it as I walked a few steps to the side and making it look as if I just came back. The two soon walked past me, happily, telling me good night before running off, as I thought, those two know? I shook my head at this nonsense, walking into the room, finding the food still there untouched, as YN still sat on the floor, shaking. I walked over, kneeling in front of them before, "Hey, YN, are you okay? You're shaking," I asked before they had hung low. As they shook it, I looked at our surroundings before lifting up their head with my index finger. As they looked up, I was shocked to see tears running down their face as They had a scared and confused look on their face. Ray, what's going on with me? It's not stopping. I looked at them before pulling them into my embrace. It's okay, let it out. Let it all out. Cry it out if you have to, Ian. This is normal, don't worry. I'm here for you. And in that moment, my heart melted as I held them close. I liked this feeling. I liked the feeling of them holding on to me and their cute face, even though they're crying. I couldn't help but blush. I didn't know why, but I think I'm slowly falling for them. And everything about them, even the little things, like the fact that they care so much and how they sleep, but I soon pushed that aside, the thought leaving my head as I lift them onto the bed. I sat on the bed with them on my lap, face buried in my chest, their hands clenched into fists holding onto my shirt as if letting go I will disappear into thin air. I watched as they curled up into me. When I felt my shirt soaked with tears, I put my head on top of theirs before hugging my hands around them, pulling them closer to me, trying to make them feel safe in my grasp. As I comfort them, patting their back a little and rocking back and forth slightly. We stayed like that for an hour or so before I felt their hands loosen on my shirt and body relax, laying against me, looking down to see them asleep. But their eyes were a tad bit red and were quite puffy. When I noticed they didn't say anything while crying, I sat there for a minute before laying them down and taking off my shirt. Soon, taking some water, dampening a cloth, soon dabbing it on their eyes to reduce the swelling. And before I knew it, I was laid next to them once more, drifting off to sleep, unlike I predicted just a few moments ago. I woke up to the feeling of being shaken lightly before opening my eyes, looking at them as I gave a light hum as they spoke. Ryan looked at me before shoving their watch in my face. I looked at it to see it was 10 a.m., causing me to shut up, eyes wide open, before getting back to a natural look. Well, do you feel better, Ryan? I said, flustered as I nearly caught them darling. But I guess they didn't notice, as they only nodded, getting out of bed and grabbing a thermometer before taking their temperature to prove to me that they were fine. It was at that moment I noticed. It was really cute of them, to be honest. the way they act like this. I wanted to see more of their cute moments. I wanted to be around them more. Ray! I suddenly heard someone said, really near to me, as I snapped back out of my thoughts into reality, and saw Wyan's face just inches away from mine before falling back onto the bed, laying there when they said, we should go get ready for the day and get some breakfast too. I nodded at this statement before getting up as they left the room while my face was still heated. Taking the shirt I left that night, pulling it on before walking out of the room, trying to calm my nerves of what just happened a minute ago. Walking towards my room, I got ready for the day ahead.